Hello, and welcome to Pressing Buttons. I'm Hugo.
I'm Nick.
Another great week, another great episode coming at you. Episode 54, Pressing Buttons. We are starting off strong. Just a quick little update. We did end up doing our community tournament, Destiny 2 tournament last weekend. It was a wonderful tournament. Shout out to Nick. I know he had co-hosting duties like he always does. And he knew nothing about the game or any abilities, but he stuck through it. Even though he was watching Capcom Cup at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not one to exaggerate, but I think that was probably one of the most unpleasant experiences of my life.
Whoa, that's a bit drastic.
No, all right, maybe all right, that's I was just fucking around, but
So,
man, that was a lot. That was a big tournament.
it was a big tournament. I'm glad our community was able to set it up. Shout out to Caesar, Felix, Roast, and Keezy for setting it up and getting the community together. We did learn a lot from it, obviously. It did take 5 hours.
6 hours.
Or 6 hours. So we'll definitely work on that for the future. Also, the in terms of seating and stuff like that, the skill levels and such, we're gonna work on that. But I think it was a success. Everybody had fun. We got to see a lot of good competitive matches. We got to see a lot of players play against each other, pull out some new moves. We also saw improvement from some players that I played with and definitely weren't as good in PvP, but definitely saw improvement in the tournament as they went up. It did end a little bit kind of weird because we had some toxicity and just, people heated up towards the end because obviously it's the finals and it's ending and, everybody was picking favorites and all that stuff. So we'll definitely work on that. Obviously, we want to be a good community in terms of being very inclusive and have everybody have fun and try to keep the toxicity levels really low. Even though we are toxic, but we're like good toxic because we just mess around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you seen the Discord? I think that was the appropriate level of toxicity that I was expecting. So
it is Destiny, and if it's anything, it's toxic.
I mean, you're not gonna not emote in the finals.
Well,
I mean, you just have to do that.
But what did you think of the tournament? Did you enjoy it? Besides, obviously how long it was, and you're not understanding.
No, for me, no. I thought it was good. It's just tough for me, right? Because I don't know the game, and the analogy I came up with after going through the experience was like someone being a diehard football fan, and someone be like, "Hey, I know the Super Bowl is on, but while the Super Bowl's on, can you commentate a cricket tournament?" And then you'd be like, "I don't know anything about cricket." That's fine. Just commentate this thing you don't know anything about that takes 6 hours long. So
listen, man, we're co-hosts of Pressing Buttons, so whatever commentating arrangements I make, you kind of stuck with me.
So I gotta think of how I don't know. I got to think of what punishment I can come up with for you.
Punishment.
Yeah. But no, I think so. I thought it was good. I definitely want to do more of those. I think we could probably just get someone. My hope is we can get someone from the community to. I honestly think if it's just you commentating, and then we bring in the actual people playing when hearing their commentary. I actually thought that was pretty funny and. I think you really need two commentators if you're not hearing the people play the game. So I don't know. I think there's a world where it could work. Yeah. So I don't know. It's something to think through. But I thought it was cool to have that be our first tournament. So hopefully that's the first of many.
Yeah, and definitely I know a lot of the participants they want more of it, so they're planning to do maybe one every quarter, which is good. Obviously, the main one that we wanted to do, and this kind of helped, was to set up for the future is the Street Fighter 6 tournament, which we want to do around August, when 2 months after the game comes out, to make sure that everybody's kind of used to it. Obviously, it's going to clash with Evo 2023 in Vegas, so we'll probably have more people watching our tournament. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's good that we have the community kind of pushing for this and doing a lot of this, which we really appreciate, and we're glad that everybody's embracing this. And then on the heels of that, another thing we wanted to talk about real quick before we start with the news was that we want to do like a new segment series coming up, and we want to have the community involved. One of my biggest things that I want out of this podcast and all that stuff is just to have a lot of community engagement and get everybody playing and just everybody playing with each other. We have more fun when we play together. So for the future, we want to do a segment. We don't have a title for it yet, but it's basically we're gonna develop 5 questions, 5 hard-hitting video game questions that our community, members of our community, can answer in video form or in audio form, and we can put it at the end of the podcast. Just have like a community series. So working title, we still haven't figured that out, but we're good with catchphrases and titles, so I'm pretty sure we'll get a good one. And then we're still workshopping the questions because we want them to be deep and thoughtful questions and something that'll make you think as a gamer. So yeah, look forward to that, and when we do bring that up, we'll let you guys know on Discord, and obviously you can send us the videos. Nick or myself, you can send the video to. Probably you'll have to send it to me because Nick probably doesn't want to get his hands dirty.
What do you mean? I'm gonna have to get the I do the. Who do you think produces the video?
Yeah, I forgot. You do the video.
I thought you were joking. I was like, why would they send it to you? You don't fucking do anything with video.
So I could, I'm the intermediary. They send it to me and then I send it to you.
Just send it in Discord, dude.
But yeah, we're all about the community, so definitely look forward to that in the future, and please participate because we would love to hear your answer to whatever good questions we come up with. All right. Any housekeeping from you? Anything you want to say?
No, you nailed it.
All right, let's start this shit. So big thing, obviously. I'm a little Sony pony, as you can see.
Oh my god, that makes sense. Like I should have put mine on.
Oh yeah. I was thinking ahead.
I got that's my Final Fantasy X shirt.
That kind of works. But yeah, if you guys haven't heard, this week Sony had their big state of play. This concludes, I would say, the top 3 publishers having a big keynote showcase video showing off their games or in future games. It's the one everybody was waiting for. So obviously a lot of good games were showcased, which I was happy about. I know everybody says I'm a little Sony pony, but I like all the consoles, all the games the same. But
I think Sony jabroni.
All right, I'm a little Sony jabroni. But we're just gonna go over everything that they announced in the showcase and give our thoughts on the stuff that showed us, that gave us a lot of interesting looks at and stuff that we really liked. Obviously, we're gonna start off in order. PSVR 2. They showed off a couple PSVR games: The Foglands, Green Hell VR, Synapse, Journey to Foundation, and Before Your Eyes. Obviously, these are all PSVR games. Most of them look new games. I'm pretty sure some of them were previously released, and they're going to be released in the future. The PSVR did release as well on the 22nd. So it's a big push for VR. I don't know how I feel about this, one, because I'm not a big VR person. 2, I feel like every VR game I see is just somebody with a gun or a weapon, and all they're doing is walking around and doing things with guns and weapons. So I want to see more of that. If you're going to push VR to me, give me different experiences that's just not me doing normal shit in real life. Well, not that I'm walking around with a weapon or anything like that. But which Nick will cover mostly. Like, give me something like Gran Turismo 2. I know that's been a hit with everybody. I've gotten a lot of pictures of friends setting up their basically driving sims out there, and it looks pretty good. Shout out to Wilson. He has a heck of a freaking setup with the wheel and the C and the shift lever and all that stuff and the brakes. Like, it's amazing. And he says it feels really great playing it. So it looks like Gran Turismo 7 at least will be something that pushes some people if they were a little bit on the fence about getting VR. Your thoughts on the PSVR 2 games that they showed, and your thoughts on PSVR 2 as a whole since it came out?
Yeah, so I wasn't terribly excited about these games that they showed. So yeah, the PSVR 2 just came out. This was an opportunity just to show some more titles to generate some excitement. Yeah, I already forgot all of them basically. I watched the showcase live when it was happening, and nothing jumped out at me. There has been a lot of really positive, previews and reviews of GT or Gran Turismo 7 on PSVR 2, and I think I mentioned last week where I saw some of the previews and I was like, I don't know, am I going to go down this rabbit hole of racing simulation rig, and buying the PSVR 2 headset just for one game? So I've held strong. I've held strong so far. I did buy Gran Turismo 7. So I bought the game. I guess Sony was doing like a sale with all of their first party games. So I was able
You're
to
halfway
get
there. You're halfway there.
I don't know, 15% there. I don't know. So I was able to get the game on sale. I think it was $40 or something like that. So I do have the game. I played it a little bit. I'll cover it more in closing thoughts, but I didn't put that much time into it. But it is a baby step towards full blown racing rig. But so to me, I think, which I think is a pretty recent development. We've known about PSVR 2 for a while. I think going back to maybe September ish, kind of towards the end of last year, and I don't think it was until more recently where it's like, okay, the killer app is Gran Turismo 7. Like, it's not the Horizon game. It's like far and away Gran Turismo 7 is just like blowing everyone away. So so then to me it's like, okay, well, is that enough for me to invest into the platform just for one game? Maybe maybe I'm still holding strong. We'll see. I think if I would have seen some more like cool titles in the showcase, or hopefully in the next 3 to 6 months, I think that's what I would need to see to like definitively get me over the line. But I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, I think obviously without the major killer apps besides Gran Turismo, I think it is going to have a slow start. But there is a hope that obviously with more time with the hardware, there'll be better releases coming out. And I have belief, at least in a year, I think it's going to be something to not miss. Moving on, we have Destiny 2 Lightfall. Bungie showcased the story trailer for the new expansion coming out on Tuesday, February 28th, Lightfall, as well as basically for the season. And it looks great. Obviously, it's just a cinematic, but if you're a Destiny fan, you loved it. You see Destiny stuff, Destiny guns, space weapons, ships, lights and stuff. So it looks pretty cool. You see the Traveler who hasn't done anything in the 10 years that this game has been out, shoot a giant laser beam that like a Death Star. So that's pretty cool. It just looks cool. They didn't show much, obviously just a trailer, but since Sony just acquired Bungie last year, it goes to show you that they still have faith in them, and they've always been strong partners of them. So that they always show something in their showcases. So look out for that. Look out for my impressions of Destiny 2 Lightfall in our next episode, because I will definitely be playing the shit out of this game.
When's the release date again?
On Tuesday, the 28th.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah, so a couple days, man.
very soon.
I am not working that day, so you definitely know I'm going to be binging the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully
And,
the servers aren't too overloaded, which happens every freaking
yeah,
expansion.
that'll happen for sure.
Yeah.
So these trailers are, so from like a hardcore Destiny player's perspective, these trailers get you excited?
They
Because
do.
I think when I watch it, I'm just like, I have no idea what's going on, zero excitement, and it actually kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy 14 trailers, where whenever they would show those, I would just be like cool, but who cares? But then when I became like a hardcore kind of Final Fantasy 14 player, I'm like, oh my god, like I would have lost my mind if I actually knew what was going on and all that. So I was just curious if there's like a similar thing going on with Destiny, or even if like from a hardcore Destiny fan perspective, they're like, these trailers sucks, but I just know I'm going to buy it anyway. And
No, yeah, I think definitely it's the same case as like you just mentioned. Just because it's like what's going on, who's who, and I think Bungie's one of those studios where they do a really great job of doing these cinematics with their characters. So I think it just got me more hyped, even though there was no gameplay. They didn't show off anything new in terms of like what we already know. It just looked great. So I'm excited to see more of this, and I'm excited. I know a lot of people, obviously, a lot of our community plays Destiny 2. They've been playing a lot this weekend, trying to catch up, trying to do everything before the big reset. And the game is going to be down for 24 hours on Monday while they do a lot of back end stuff and update it as well. So they're definitely grinding till the last bit before it starts, and we'll have coverage. We'll have some pressing buttons coverage. All right, next game they talked about was Chia with a T, which is an indie game. It looks pretty cool. Not a lot to say about that. Just it looks pretty cool. I'll get it. I'll get it when it's on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, that's a plus one for me.
Yeah, the other another indie game was Humanity as well. This one actually looked more interesting for me. You play as like a Shiba Inu made of light that's guiding these humans. So maybe it's a metaphor for heaven and hell, because then some other dark humans show up and they try to lead your humans astray. But it just looked pretty cool. I know there's a demo out. I can't wait to try it. Interesting concept. I know it's made by the people who made a rhythm game or something.
Res, Tetris Attack,
Yeah.
a couple of games. Yeah, the studio's called Enhance.
Yeah, so
Yeah, the game, and I'm a big fan of those games, so I'm really just like basically putting faith into the developer. Like once I saw their name, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to check out whatever they put out. I thought the game looked interesting, but if it wasn't because of the studio, I probably wouldn't be that interested in it. Was kind of my takeaway.
yeah, I agree with you. It's one of those. It looks like a very, very interesting puzzle game, but without the name attached, it might have been just something that kind of fell to the side without notice. Next in the game they talked about was Goodbye Volcano High, which creeps Nick out, but to me it looked normal. It's basically you're a bunch of dinosaurs and the meteor's coming down or rain on your parade, and you're in high school. So
Yeah,
it looks,
you know how there's like a community that referred to as furries.
yeah, you're freaked out by furries.
So I'm not freaked out, but like to me this is like what's like the dinosaur equivalent of that? Like scalies.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know, like so to me, I don't know. There's something like that weirds me out about the art style. It's just I don't know. It's just kind of unsettling to me. So.
Well, if you're a fan of high school interactions and stuff like that, these type of games where you slice of life games, I'm pretty sure this will be right up your alley. I mean, it is a popular genre. You could say Persona has it, Danganronpa and stuff like that have it. A lot of video games have it now, especially they added just to have that social aspect of it. Fire Emblem had that. It was a big part of their system, so it just has dinosaurs. Don't be scared of the scalies.
Yeah, but yeah, there was a social mechanic, but it was like part of a bigger game. Like, so I just don't know what. To me, it's more of like it's just like an adventure or story type game. Maybe there's like some rhythm because I guess you're in a band or something. I don't know, but. It's just,
let's just say I feel confident in saying that you are not going to be checking this one out.
Nah.
Next thing they announced was Naruto Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. This is basically an update of the Naruto series fighting games with Boruto as well. There's some new characters in there. If you're a big fighting game fan, something for you. If you're a big Boruto fan, something for you. I've always been a Naruto fan. I read the manga and watched some of the anime as well. It looks interesting. I played a lot of the PS2 fighting games when they came out, and it's a good series. I think if you're an enjoyer of these two things, you'll have fun with this. Next one after that, Baldur's Gate 3, which is looking really good, I might say. They definitely have worked on it for a bit, so you can tell they put in a lot of good work into it in terms of the combat and the party system and everything like that. So I'm excited. Are you excited for Baldur's Gate 3? I know it's kind of been under the radar, but
yeah, no, totally. I think, and I would actually need to check, but I thought they had only announced this for PCs. So I don't know if this was like the review. I don't think it's just going to be on PlayStation. I think it's going to be on multiple consoles. But I think this might have been the first showing of it being on console.
Yeah, it looks like recently they've only been showing it on PC, but definitely throwing it in there with Sony confirms it.
Yeah, I could be misremembering, but it's just when we were talking around like games that we're most excited about for each of the platforms this year, I thought Baldur's Gate 3 was like kind of the quote PC exclusive. But then that's cool, and I think it looks good. I'm definitely going to check it out. I'll probably check it out on PC, but great that that's going to be available on consoles as well.
All right. Next, we have Wayfinder, which is it looks like an MMO. You play as different classes. It has a 3D cartoonish but refined look to it.
It's the Fortnite style guide, man.
There you go.
Like everyone's just.
Yeah, I wanted to say that.
And we've seen
we've seen
a number of these games.
Brawlhalla, not Brawlhalla. The Brawler one, Knockout City, all those games that look like Fortnite. So this does look like that. I was just very interested by this, but just mostly for the aspect of playing it with friends. Obviously, we've been don't have too many games that we can play with each other. So I think this one could be it, where you could spend a couple hours on it and just mess around if there's nothing else to play. There is a beta sign up for it if you go to their website. I signed up just to have access on for it on Steam, just to try it out and see what's up. It looks like it's coming out in May for PS5 and PS4. They're going to have some sort of deal to do with them. Would you play this if I was like, let's check this out?
I'll check it out. Yeah, I don't necessarily have qualms with the Fortnite style guide. It was just more of an observation of, a lot of games are trying to look like that, and none of them ever succeed other than Fortnite. So I don't know if this is what will happen with this game, but no, it look cool. I think I'm more interested in like, it kind of almost seems like a Hoyoverse type game. I don't know. It's probably not going to be like the gacha mechanic or whatever, but so I'll always give those a try.
Yeah, especially if it's a free to play. So let's see. Next one, it's a big one, Street Fighter 6. They announced the last 3 characters that are going to be available for the full release roster, and that's Zangief, Lily, a new character, and Cammy. They join Luke, Jamie, Manon, Kimberly, Marissa, JP, Juri, DJ, Ryu, E Honda, Blanca, Guile, Ken, Chun-Li, and Dalsim as the full characters. So there you have it. 18.
It's pretty impressive. You remembered all those names.
Well, I was also reading it, but
okay. The audio podcast doesn't know that.
Ah, damn it! Should have kept it.
I'm trying to pump you up, man.
Well, I don't want to deceive our listeners.
Okay,
we're an honest podcast to a fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the full roster for all the characters that are going to be on release. It's 18 characters, 2 more, I believe, than the original Street Fighter V came out with. And this trailer, I mean, it's more of the same in terms of what you're looking for in Street Fighter, which I'm happy with. It's looking great. Zangief looks great. Lily, the new character, looks great. And I'm pretty sure everybody agrees that Cammy looks great. The internet was definitely falling head over heels with her. Seeing her moves, I know they incorporated one of the moves from the Street Fighter animated movie, which was kind of cool. But it looks more the same. Street Fighter, we can't wait to get our hands on it. Obviously, we are 3 months away from the release of it, or 2.5 months from the full release of it. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing another run of a beta coming up pretty soon, just to test everything, which we'll gladly participate in. And I'm excited. man. I was looking at that collector's edition. It's $250, but it's got a nice little figurine of Kimberly, who, little spoiler, is probably going to be my main, and Luke. So what do you think of the trailer, obviously?
It was all right. No, it was awesome. It was good just to kind of see the footage for the last characters on the launch roster. I'm really interested in Lily, so I'll want to experiment with her. I know everyone was like losing their minds to the Cammy trailer.
A bunch of horn dogs.
Yeah, it just people are just getting too horny on the internet. But I just never really clicked with her in prior games. But maybe I'll give her a try as well. I'm not sure, but I just thought it was funny that from a design perspective, they're like, okay, everyone, we hear you. You know, let's cover up those legs. It's a little too aggressive, and they're like, but we'll just give her yoga pants. So it's like, okay,
Yeah, she's not wearing a bikini no more.
yeah. So that was their compromise. But yeah, looked really good in motion, and I think Zangief, and I think we were talking about this before we started recording, but I always feel like the big body characters and like the grapplers, and I always feel like those are like the characters for me because it's kind of more of like a slow,
Because you're a grabby
methodical,
bitch.
and throwing people around. They just haven't really been that. I just could never like figure out how to play that in prior games, but I know it looks like to me it's like so far. Obviously, it's like incredibly early, but it seems like there's just like a lot of really interesting characters that are viable. So I'm actually looking forward to playing Zangief as well.
Well, the one thing I think, and I give credit to Capcom, is just making. I feel like every character that I've seen, even if they're new or old, is interesting, and it makes me want to play all of them. Obviously, when we get the game, I think we'll run through a lot of these characters and see which one we click with the best. But it's definitely enjoyable. I feel like every character I've seen, they're cool. I like their moves, and I want to get my hands on them and try them out. And then jumping off of the back of this. Obviously, Capcom Cup was last Sunday when we were watching Destiny 2. And they did announce that for EVO 2023, Street Fighter 6 is going to be in the main stage, which was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I don't know. And then like I think the other controversy is going to be, there's been a couple betas of the game, and certain people have cracked the beta and have just been like playing this game a shit ton. So like I feel it's like, okay, well, are those people going to be at this like huge advantage because there's only going to be, call it a couple months between the game actually launching and then Evo. So, but yeah, I think it's cool. I just found it kind of surprising that they would be doing Evo so quickly after the release date.
Yeah, Street Fighter 5 gave its swan song at Capcom Cup. Shout outs to Mena RD for winning it for the Dominican Republic. But
that's right.
It was a very good Capcom Cup. Like I think all the players that were in the finals, that were in the top 8, I think everybody performed outrageously good, and it was each match was very very compelling, and we had a lot of fun. Obviously, we were doing the tournament and watching Capcom Cup at the same time, so that was pretty exciting. So look out for us in Street Fighter 6, trying to get good with our mains. And the next game they showcased, Resident Evil 4, obviously another remakes of old game. Excited for this one, obviously Resident Evil 4 being one of the best, I think, Resident Evil games, best horror action games. And with all these new remakes, I'm excited because there are some tweaks that they've said that they've made to the game to kind of make it feel fresh and new, adding a lot more interactions with certain characters, adding more moves, just doing things differently. So I'm excited for that to come out. Obviously, on the heels of Dead Space remaster, doing really, really well, and just having talks of them making more of these games. Maybe they'll get back to this kind of genre for the future Resident Evils, which I can only hope. And there also will be they announced that they're developing the PSVR version, which everybody will be shitting their pants because from what I hear, anytime any of these games make it to VR, it's definitely like a horrifying experience. Are you excited for Resident Evil? How many times will this be that you have bought the game?
3. So original GameCube, and then I think I got it on PC, and then this would be the third time. And then keep in mind that I still have never beaten the game. So my hope is I'll finally get there with this version. But no, it looked incredible. Super exciting. I think is it March when it comes out?
Yeah, March.
Okay, so that's pretty soon. And then the going back to my comment around needing there to be more killer apps for PSVR 2, I think this could be, depending on how deep they go with the VR version of the Resident Evil 4 remake. I think that could be up there. I think was it RE7 or RE8 is already on
RE7
VR?
is on VR already. I'll have to check on RE8
Yeah, I
if they're
can,
going
but
VR, if it's going.
whatever, yeah, just got launched with PS4. I think people are speaking very positively about that as well. So I have high hopes that RE4 will also be a really good game. I think it's just for me, like, I don't know if I can personally do horror games in VR. So I think it's going to be awesome, but like, I just don't know if I'll actually be able to play it. So I think I'll have to beat it on PC first, just so I know like what's going to happen, and then maybe that'll be enough for me to get comfortable to play it in VR if I end up getting that.
Yeah, it looks like 7 and Village, which is 8, are both in VR. It's definitely, I know me from playing 7 and 8. 7 itself, like the first couple hours when you're trapped in a house running away from this crazy family that's trying to kill you, it's one of the most terrifying experiences that I've ever had in a game. So I can't even imagine in VR. I know the guys, Kamui and them, they've been like egging me to try it and stream it, but I don't want to embarrass myself online. I've done enough of that already.
Yeah, you already do that enough.
Yeah. But I will check out Resident Evil 4 though, just because it's a great game, and why not? It's one of those where no matter what console generation it comes out, I think you should definitely try it out. All right, and the last thing they showed was Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, and let me tell you, this is one of those games where I bookmarked ever since they announced it. I'm a big fan of Rocksteady's Batman. All the 3 games were amazing. I think they really handled the character and the lore and everything about the city of Gotham really well. And this just they showed off more of this. They had the developers in there doing kind of a little commentary as they were showing off the game. We got to see more of it, some actual action with all the characters. We did find out it's going to be a live service game. It's always going to be online, which some people were a little bit upset about that, but we'll see how that goes. We did find out that it's also going to have a battle pass, so you'll be able to buy the battle pass to get skins and other stuff for the characters. And then it's also going to have future DLC where it'll have more story content and as well as more DLC characters, which I found interesting just because I'm kind of racking my brain to see what other Suicide Squad characters that they've used in the comics or in the movies are they going to bring into this world. And just Metropolis looks great. I've been a big fan of Superman. I was a fan of the Superman animated series. I always liked the distinction between Gotham, which is a little bit darker, obviously with Batman being at night, and then Superman with the sun and the just being a lot more vibrant, which they talked about in the video. Definitely feels like you're in 2 different places. So I'm excited to explore Metropolis, see everything that it's about. Excited to play this with some friends. A little bit weird just because I did see it as a bit of a comparison. We just had Batman Arkham Knight's release, and that one is also a 4-player action game set in the same Arkham universe. So it is kind of weird not the same Arkham universe, but just in the DC universe. It is kind of weird to see these 2 games. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to make comparisons from the studios, but I think at the end of the day, it's 2 different games doing 2 different things. So can't wait to get my hands on this. Even if it sucks, I'm going to play it. What about you? What are your thoughts?
Even if it sucks, yeah, I think I was cautiously optimistic around what we were going to see, just because I think there was enough rumors and I think even some leaks saying that it was going to be a live service game and all that. And I know that's a polarizing thing just in general. So, but to me, it's like I thought it looks fun. It's like a little wacky that everyone's able to fly around, and it's seemingly more of like a shooting game, like a shooter, than like a beat 'em up. So I think the gameplay looks very different from Arkham, right? Where Arkham's more you're just kind of punching people and stuff, whereas basically everyone has some sort of weapon or gun or something in Suicide Squad. So but it looked fun. Like I thought the world looked awesome. It was definitely much more vibrant. It looked huge. The cinematics I thought were pretty cool. So they showed some of the, particularly like with Flash and Wonder Woman and all that. So I don't know. I think I'm definitely going to check it out. Then it's just a question of, did they actually kind of like ruin the game with trying to shoehorn in, live service and battle pass mechanics? So also we'll kind of see like what the shelf life of the game is. Like it could be a situation where they just like didn't get the right, they just didn't figure it out, and people kind of like churn through all the content in like a week, and then it becomes like very repetitive. And I think that's more or less what happened with the Avengers game, right? So I don't know. I was not turned off. I think it looks fun, and then we'll see whether it continues to be fun after a few weeks.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing is, and I think one of the main things that kind of worked for the Arkham series was that Batman doesn't have any superpowers, and they did a really good job of showcasing all that he could do. He didn't use as many gadgets, whereas none of these heroes really have superpowers, you would say. Harley Quinn, she just has weapons. Deadshot, weapons. Captain Boomerang has a boomerang. And then King Shark would be the one with the superpowers because he's a fucking human shark. Big man shark or whatever. So it is interesting just to see those gameplay mechanics, and we kind of laughed about it, how everybody can fly now in their own way. So that's kind of funny, but
I was legit laughing when King Shark is like basically swimming in midair.
Listen, man, you don't know that sharks can't swim in the air, so
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that character at all. Like it wasn't until the movie
yeah.
where I was like, oh, so maybe that's consistent with his canon, is that he's able to do that. But I just thought it just like looked kind of funny to me.
Yeah, and then the idea of all these future characters that they're going to have, I'm excited for that, because watching the Harley Quinn series on DC on HBO Max, which is a very good series. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check that out. And then the Suicide Squad movies. In the comics, I want to see what other characters they bring in, and I'm pretty sure Rocksteady likes to take advantage of the roster of characters that they can bring in and do something weird and unique. So I'm excited for that. Definitely I'm still penciled in for Suicide Squad. It has not deterred me. If anything, I just want to get my hands on it sooner.
And is that May?
May, I think it's the 5th. It's early May.
Okay.
Yeah, so these next couple of months.
These next couple of months
good.
are going to be beefy.
Yeah. All right. So that does it for us. What we want to discuss on this week's episode. The state of play, definitely, I think Sony brought it. I know Nintendo and Xbox had their own, and those were good showcases for everything that they were showing, and I think they had good surprises in there. And then the same thing with Sony. Some new games that they wanted to talk about. VR, of course, they wanted to talk about because it just got released. And then a more in-depth look at certain things that we've been looking at. More in-depth look of certain things that we've been wanting to check out. So I think it's a thumbs up. It's a couple buttons for me. I'll be pressing them.
A couple buttons.
Yeah.
What do you think comparing this one? Because I know everyone always likes to compare and contrast all the different showcases among the different platforms.
Well, I think
how would you kind of like
I think
rate or rank?
I would give them all the same rank. I would give them 2 thumbs up. There you go. I'll do that. But I think they all did what they set out to do, which is maybe show 1 or 2 new games that nobody has seen, or show gameplay of games that nobody has seen, and then pepper in some stuff that's coming out soon. Nothing. These haven't been any future showcases. They haven't shown anything crazy that's coming out next year or at the end of the year or anything like that. Which I'm kind of glad. I do want to see things in the future, but at the same time, let's keep the focus on the games coming out soon that we're going to be playing, and we just want to see more of. So I will give them the same grade. I'll give them an A for all of them.
An A? Oh
yeah.
my god!
I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah. Okay. I would be more like B or B plus.
Okay.
So still still good. I think they were all good. But I just know, I guess maybe just for me specifically, it just particularly like the Nintendo one. Like I thought the Nintendo one was great. It was just like there's literally nothing for me to buy. Xboxes, I actually before we recorded, I actually forgot they even did one. So, but you know, I think it was like the Hi-Fi.
Played Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, it was Hi-Fi Rush, and once I was like, oh yeah, it was the one where they launched Hi-Fi Rush. That jogged my memory, and then I thought this one was good too. All of them have kind of like a first half of 2023 focus. So it's kind of what you were saying. I do wonder when are they going to start illuminating what's in their roadmap over the next 1 to 2 years, just because we know that I think really every platform has a lot of internal studios with a lot of unannounced projects. So my hope is, I think during the summertime, probably not at E3, but around E3 timeframe, that's when maybe they'll start opening the curtains and giving people a sneak peek into maybe like a year out or further with some big titles.
Yeah, and I have the same hope, but we do got to say the next couple of months are looking pretty good for us gamers with all the good titles coming out.
I think the whole year. I mean, maybe Q3. I would need to look and see if there's like anything big in Q3. But we know that the back half of the year there's like some huge titles as well.
Yeah, so we love gaming. So we're in here, baby. We're in here. It's a good year for us. All right, so that does it with the state of play that we wanted to discuss, and we're going to be moving on to some closing thoughts. I'll start it off. Still playing Wild Hearts, baby. I know the performance has been an issue. They did release a patch, which I don't think it did anything.
That's usually the case.
Yeah, it's weird because I've never experienced this. I know you've been a big PC gamer for a long time, but I've never experienced something where like there's a game I really want to play, but it plays really shitty, so I have to find out a lot of ways to play it so it's not shitty. So there's a couple fixes that I've tried out, which luckily with the community hub on Steam, they've been very helpful. The weirdest one is that if I change the sound from stereo to Dolby 7.1 or 5.1, it fixes it. And they were saying it was something to do with the audio, like right before the performance issue starts, something happens with the audio. And I was like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. But it worked. So, I've been playing it. I'm enjoying the game. Definitely a lot of monster hunting. I know I've had discussions with some people in the community saying that, the performance kind of dragged them out of it. Really, I think I'm the only one of my friends playing it, even of the people who got it. But I can understand the frustration with it. But it's still an interesting enough game where, like, I wouldn't put my time in a game. I think I'm up to like 30 hours in this game if I didn't enjoy it. It's very similar to Monster Hunter, but I think what sets it apart is the Karakuri creation. Not necessarily that you're using them to beat the monsters, but you're using them to help you to facilitate that monster hunting. And I think it does that very well. Otherwise, if it was just like a clone of Monster Hunter, I don't think I would be enjoying it as much and I wouldn't have gotten it. So good game. Hopefully they fix the performance issues. It definitely does deserve more people playing it, and I hope it doesn't cause any, like, if they're thinking of a sequel or something like that, it doesn't cause any delays or just consideration into not making a sequel. I think it's a good game. It has potential. Just fix it. The other thing I've been playing is a lot of Fortnite. We like Fortnite. We like to jump in on Fortnite every now and then. It's a fun game. We've always been big fans of Epics. We think they do a lot of great things with other IPs, getting them into the game. And Fortnite, ever since they released the no build, I think it's just way more fun for me, at least, than the build mode. So the new season's wrapping up on March 8th, and I was like, I need to finish this battle pass because I didn't pay $10 for it. I just got $10 for free somehow through the battle pass. So I was like, I don't want to waste these free $10. And I also want to get all the cool skins. And I grinded a lot. I was at level 50 when I started on Wednesday, and then I'm at level 143 now. Don't ask me how. It just happens. Just play the game. I'm a gamer, guys. I'm a gamer.
Yeah, we're fine. I think we're both fine with like battle pass live service games. Like if the game's actually fun and it kind of like makes sense,
Yeah.
like in context to the game. I don't know. I'm just kind of going back to what we were saying before, where everyone was like very like worried about Suicide Squad and that being ruined because of battle passes and stuff like that. But it's like, well,
They work sometimes.
there's a world where it works fine, and people aren't like that. There's always going to be people pissed about it, but I think there's a world where it works, and you'll be hearing us talking about this game every week, like we do Fortnite or
Yeah.
Rocket League or.
Yeah. So catch me playing Fortnite at the start of the seasons and then grinding it out at the end of the season. Shout out to my boy Ace Sniper. We got 3 dubs yesterday. Ended the night on a dub too, so that was pretty fun. When you get those victory royales, it's very exhilarating. And then the last thing is Wulong Fallen Dynasty. So the new demo came out for PC, PS4, PS5, and Xbox as well. I played the first part of it, which was very similar. The level was different, but the boss at the end of the first part was the same boss for the last demo. Enjoying the game more. I know they did polish it up more in terms of the counter. In the first demo, I did have some issues executing the counter. In this one, much easier to use. Not that it's too easy, but it is much easier to use. It makes the game more fun. I know this one is more like they combine Neo, Dark Souls, and Sekiro all into one, which is a good formula. And I'm enjoying the heck out of it. And I gotta just finish up the second part. And I know you're a big Soulsborne fan, so you'll probably enjoy it. You should definitely check that out.
Yeah, I saw that they announced the PC demo, but then I just realized that it's just going to be on Game Pass. So it's like, oh well, that's
Yeah.
the full game is effectively a demo. If I just wait like another week, so
Yeah,
I just decided to wait.
Quick PSA for those that didn't know: full game gonna be on Game Pass when it releases on March 3rd. So take advantage of it.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
I
so
won't because I'm gonna buy it full price.
It's great. Keeping the industry alive.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I think I'm definitely going to check it out because I have no reason not to. I will say Sekiro. I don't know, like it was like for me that was like a harder game than Dark Souls or Demon Souls or whatever. So at some point I'll actually go back and pick it up. But I do wonder if there's something if Wolong is more similar to Sekiro than Dark Souls, if like for some reason then that ends up being like a turnoff for me.
I mean, it's more similar to Neo, I would say. From what
it's more like Neo. Okay,
yeah, just like even though Neo took inspiration from Dark Souls and such, it's still a heavy, fast-paced, action-packed game. I feel like it is much easier than any Dark Souls or anything like that. It does have its difficulties, but nothing like where in Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all that, I felt like, I just gotta fix what I'm doing. Whereas with this, I feel like you can always just overpower yourself once you're towards the end. But it's still an enjoyable experience.
Okay. Cool.
All right, what about you? What you been up to?
Yeah, a bit of a curveball this week. I don't think I mentioned this game at all. So the game is, I don't even remember the full title. I think it's Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. So it's
That's a mouthful.
So it's a rhythm game featuring all the music from all the different Final Fantasy games. I think this year's Final Fantasy's 35th anniversary, so it's like definitely a great title for celebrating an anniversary where it really takes most of the best tracks from each game and puts it into like one comprehensive package. So yeah, it's Final Fantasy music, rhythm game, a really entertaining rhythm game, and then there's also light RPG mechanics as well, so you can collect a bunch of different characters from the series and then create parties and you level them up, and you need certain parties at certain levels to clear kind of these like missions or quests that happen inside of each level you're playing. So So light RPG mechanics. So it's really fun. I've been playing it a ton. I've known about the game, since they announced it, but it was only going to be for PS4 and Switch. So I was like, oh, I'll just wait. I'll just wait for them to eventually do a version for PS5 or for PC. But I don't even know how I discovered this. I think it was just getting like a lot of like really high reviews. So I was like, oh, let me take a look at this and see when there's potentially like a PS5 version. And then I learned that they're not doing a PS5 version, just because it's like a fairly simple like 2D character rhythm game. So there's really no reason for them to do like a high end PS5 version. So there's only a PS4 version or a Switch. So once I learned that, I was like, okay, well, I don't really need to wait for a PC version of this. I kind of just want to play it now. So I ended up pulling the trigger and got a physical copy of it, and pretty much been playing that all week. Like it's awesome. Like, and I know you're not a big rhythm guy.
I do like there was this Nintendo DS. That's one where you were like a high schooler mystery solver club or whatever, and that was fun. I do like rhythm games. I just it's not up there as like, ooh, I gotta get this.
Yeah. No, but I really I enjoy rhythm games. Like I listen to video game music all the time, and Final Fantasy has some of the best music there is. So I've played it a lot this week. It's really been that, and then Genshin Impact, which I think I did mention. I started dipping back into, just because there's been so much content that's been released over the last couple years that I haven't played with, and specifically the trading card game that's inside of it now. So I played a lot of that last week. I played still some less this most recent week, and I just actually been playing the game and progressing through the new locations that they launched. So yeah, I've been having a good time there. And then I only played it for maybe an hour or so, but I think I mentioned earlier in this episode Gran Turismo 7. So kind of planting the seed for going all in on PSVR 2 and some sort of like driving rig setup. So I just played it for about an hour. It's actually kind of annoying where I bought it on a physical version, and then you like have to install the game, and then you get into the game and you got to like install it again basically, and then they have these like music tracks that you like play, so it's like getting into it kind of sucked, but after waiting for that to go through, it's fun. It's just like a really polished game. I still just got to play it more, but I think for me I'll probably play a little bit, and then I got to make a decision on whether it's worth getting the wheel and all that stuff too, because I feel like unless I do that, I'm not going to enjoy playing the game on a controller. So
yeah, all the rigs and everything that I've seen from everybody putting stuff up on GT7 in PSVR 2 they're crazy insane. Like I said at the top of the podcast, my friend Wilson, he has a crazy setup. I sent you a picture of that. Everybody was astonished, and everything else I've seen online is like, man, people are really going in on this.
Yeah, no, I have a VR rig. It's an older one. It's the initial HTC Vive, and so I've done, gone through it myself. I've actually seen you or just anyone like using VR for the first time. They're always like, oh my god, what is this? And then what's been happening is a bunch of people on YouTube have been watching videos of them doing like, playing it on their rig with the VR headset. And I think in you actually, like your buddy who sent the video, he was describing this, but like I actually saw people on YouTube where they're just like, okay, it's just like a menu, and then like it goes into like you're in the car, and people are just like, holy shit, like I'm in this car.
Yeah, what's an experience?
Yeah. So I think that's pretty impressive, right? Because I think most of those people have probably had experience with VR before. So for that to be such like a incredibly immersive thing for them to kind of get that shock and awe back again, I think is pretty telling.
All right. It looks like it's GT7 is a cop, is a must. It's a must for PSVR. So hopefully, yeah, they bring out more games for that look just as good and play as good. All right, so that does it for us. Make sure you guys are checking in on us at pressingbuttons.gg. It's our website. Join our Discord. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us wherever we're at. I don't even know where we're all stationed, but if it's Pressing Buttons and it's us, make sure you follow us. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the community, and we'll see you on the next episode. I'm Hugo. Bye.
I'm Nick. Later.